Hey, what is up? It's Jim. I'm back with another Tiller tip. And this week we're talking about service. I think service is vital for us. Serving others is one of the most important things that we could do in our entire lifetime. I absolutely love it. But before we get there, I just want to give a quick shout out to Carlos and Tim, the other two Tiller coaches, for holding down the fort for a few weeks on these Tiller tips. They did such a good job. I loved what they shared. And frankly, I think you guys would do well. If you are looking for someone to coach you, to disciple you, man, they might be really great options. Carlos is going full time in January, so he would be a great option. Tim's here locally in Denver. He's going to be part time, and either of them would be fantastic coaches for you. Obviously, I love coaching. I'm not turning away anyone, but they've got more availability, so check them out if you're in need of coaching or discipleship right now. So, commercial over. Let's get back to the action here. So, service. I believe that service is a spiritual discipline. Okay. When you look at lists of spiritual disciplines, you'll see things like Bible study and prayer and worship and fasting and Sabbath and solitude. Holy cow. I love solitude. That's my favorite spiritual discipline. I know that sounds weird, but I love it. Okay. Now, service is absolutely a spiritual discipline in the same way. Okay, the spiritual disciplines, you've probably heard me say this, are simply actions that connect us with God. And service does that. Like when we serve others, we are connected with God, okay? And I love it. This is vital for us to learn. I tell people all the time, like when they come to see me as their coach, they're stuck in an expectation gap, and it's a privilege to serve them. Like, this is awesome. But really, the best way to overcome any expectation gap is to serve someone through your own gap. And so I joke with guys like, hey man, if you think that if you're getting something out of Tiller coaching and it's benefiting you, I love that. I love that I get to serve you, but don't be confused. This really is for me because this is a spiritual discipline that connects me with God. And thank you for facilitating this for me. All for me, guys. That's awesome. I'm so selfish. Just kidding. I don't want to be selfish, but I hope you hear the heart of what I'm saying. Service is that important. So why I'm bringing this up is last week I was talking with a friend, and he is, a young man. He's, been married for, a few years and, recently became parents, like new parents. This is awesome. They're trying to love these kids and it's great, but man, that's hard. That is a really hard job. And he was telling me about how the other day they ran into a situation where both of like him and his wife had a work meeting at the same time. They're both trying to keep up work as they're doing this parenting thing. And it's like, well, who's going to give here? Because like not both of us could go to our prospective meetings. Like one of us has to stay here with these kids, right? And so it was like, okay, who's going to win? And the wife was like clearly advocating for herself. Like, I really think you need to lose here. And so he did. And he, called in and was like, hey, sorry, I can't be on this meeting, my bad. And it was fine. It really wasn't that big of a deal. But I could tell as he was sharing the story that he was a little salty about it. It was like not super pleased that I had to do that, but it was fine. It was fine. And so he's telling me all about this, and I'm like, man, I'm so proud of you for sacrificing for your family. Like that's totally what happened, and that's really cool. But I think you missed an opportunity. I think you missed an opportunity to convert that sacrifice into this spiritual discipline of service. And he's like, really? Like what? What's the difference between the two? And so we had this long talk about the difference of the two. And I really elevated the concept of service over sacrifice. And it was like, well, hang on. Like, what about Jesus? Like, isn't Jesus's sacrifice on the cross the ultimate thing? And we should model that, right? And I'm like, well, yes, of course, but I almost feel like sacrifice is the wrong word, although it's the right word, because that word really calls back to the Old Testament. You see, we are all sinners. And in the Old Testament, we had to account for our sinfulness. And that involved the sacrifice of an animal, be it a lamb, a bull, a goat, like whatever. There was things that needed to happen with the blood and with the meat. And it truly was a sacrifice that animal made. That animal lost on our behalf so we could win and be right before God. Like, that was amazing that they would do that, but it almost cheapens it to say that what Jesus did on the cross was simply a sacrifice, because these animals didn't have a choice in it. Like, they just lost so we could win. But Jesus, what he did was so much different, so much greater. He absolutely chose to give himself. That, my friends, I think was service. So when you think about Jesus on the cross, maybe you edit your word choices about it. It was like, yeah, Jesus' service on the cross, not his sacrifice. Now, that's semantics maybe, but I loved this conversation that me and my friend had, because it just felt like, wow, this is deep. This is important. We're like, we should podcast this. And I couldn't wait. I just needed to record a tiller tip. Like, sorry, bro. It would have been cool to record that together, but like, I got to get this out. This is too important. Like, we can absolutely take our sacrifice, which is like losing. Sometimes it's choosing to lose. Sometimes it's like the loss being bestowed on us, if we're being honest. But we can convert it to choosing to give. This isn't losing. This is actually gaining, because it connects us with God. And so I would encourage my friend to be like, hey, next time, view it as service and allow that to like permeate your attitude. Allow celebration to come into that spiritual discipline and serve your family joyfully. Yeah, it will be a sacrifice, because you are losing, but you could also be gaining at the same time. And that's what service does. So I hope you hear the heart of that, and that means something to you, because it really, like, this felt important to me, and I love it. I love it when these conversations connect. I'm telling you, coaching is wild. It connects me with God, and I love it. I learn things all the time, and so it's a joy to share that with you. So I appreciate you checking these out. And I will be back next week, and we'll finish out our year. We got Christmas coming up and New Year's, so we'll take a little bit of time off. But yeah, I appreciate you being part of the Tiller family. Thank you so much, and I'll see you next time. All right, bye.